What's up, what's up, what's up, everybody? We got a holiday week. We got some good stuff looking like we might see some indications of a pump brewing into the holiday season. I don't mean tomorrow. I don't mean Friday. There's some signals to the contrary. In fact, we may see a little bit of chop suey going into the next couple days, but I think that we are going to have an incredible holiday season. Let me see all of those members in chat. Drop your favorite emojis. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? How are you feeling? What coin are you looking at? Shout out to everybody that's here. We're going to be getting going here in just a moment. What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to the BitLab Academy daily stream. My name is Kellam. Welcome to the show. If you did not see it yet, we got some signals in the chart suggesting, I talked a little bit about it yesterday. We got some signals in the chart suggesting that we may be seeing an incredible holiday season in terms of price action going into December. Does that mean we need to get ahead of ourselves and throw 50x leverage long right now, right before Thanksgiving? I don't think that's the case. We have to be careful. We have to be very careful to not subject ourselves to a potential liquidation or getting chopped out of trades going back and forth. Okay? Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. We're going to dive in and look at some of these data points that I want to share. And we're going to do a bunch of TA today, and we're going to get together. So everybody, we got a roll call right now. I want to see all the members in the chat. If you got a green name, if you have a beaker next to your name, if you're feeling good, anything, everybody just throw a one in chat. If you're here, throw your emojis, throw something in the chat. Let's get this engagement up. Everybody hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. Let's get into it. Shout out Crimson Caravan Company. Big love to you. Always here, always supporting. Tig Old Biddies. How you doing? Sawtooth Hiker. Bit Voodoo. Alexander G. JS. Who else we got? Red Elephant. Michael Cordero. I think I can never say the name correctly. Granny's Garden. How you doing? Kingston Crows. Just shouting out all the members here. Peter Provost. Who else we got? I think that's it right now. Big love to each and every one of you. Matt C., my special friend. How are you doing there? Anna Strong. How are you doing? Big love. Let's go ahead and dive on into it. If you haven't yet, make sure you head over to my Twitter page right here at Kellam, KELLYKELLAM. And I'm going to say this twice just because it's such a wonderful and great deal that we're doing right now. We're doing a huge sale, and this was sent out to everybody that was on the email list yesterday. If you didn't see it, check your emails. Look into it. Shout out Alexander G for the 5 gifted memberships. But what I want to say right here is we have an incredible sale right now going on for the holidays in appreciation and love for everybody that's out there that's been maybe sitting on the sidelines, hadn't gotten involved yet. Get 3 months with 50% off. That's right, 50% off for 3 months. That's for BitLab Academy All Access for the courses in the premium Discord, or BitLab Pro, which gives you the courses, the premium Discord, and the indicators. So you can go ahead and use that. If you go to this tweet right here, I'm going to post this in the BitLab sale. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and post that and pin that in the comments there. Make sure you can, it's on my, I retweeted it as well. But we just want to give back to the community, allow everybody to hop in here for the holiday seasons, get in control of your knowledge, invest in yourself, best investment you can make. So make sure you get involved with this while this is still active. This deal is only going to go through December 1st. So anybody that signs up or comes back, because we did have some people jump back and forth with all the nonsense and from, I don't want to say his name, but hey, join us here. This offer expires December 1st. Now, I want to talk a little bit about, let's go ahead and clear that. I want to talk a little bit about this chart right here. This chart is what is the most important chart we could be looking at right now. We can look directly just at the Bitcoin price, but typically when we're looking at the Bitcoin price, what we're really doing is we're coming over here. Let's be honest, most of us, we're looking over here at a 24-minute chart or a 15-minute chart or a 1-hour chart. The truth of what is happening in the market right now is looking at this chart right here. This chart right here is giving us so much signal. I shared this also, by the way, in the email I sent out yesterday, which we are doing weekly again. It wasn't just the sale information about BitLab Academy and the 50% off for 3 months. There's so much alpha in that email, that newsletter, where I'm sharing different charts and thoughts on it. And we even had 4 or 5 different altcoin picks going into this next bull trend. And this chart right here is so important. I've talked about it a lot, but I have to talk about it again. This is showing us that we have liquidity coming back into the markets, global liquidity. This is one of the most important charts that we can look at when we're trying to understand the risk narrative and where dollars are being spent. Are they being spent into or transacted into checking accounts? Are they being transacted into savings accounts because the markets aren't feeling frothy? Are they being sent into safer assets like bonds and long-term infrastructure stocks? Are they going into higher risk stocks? We're seeing that the stock market has performed incredibly bizarrely well in the face of what everybody has thought to be one of the most interesting, is a word I'll use, market conditions we've seen in a long time, especially considering what's going on with the global landscape economically, especially since post this right here, the March 2020 global economic shutdown. But we're seeing, if we look at this chart right here, this is the S&P 500 overlaid with Bitcoin. I've talked about this chart before, yes, but that's okay. Sometimes we have to look at things at 14 times before we truly understand what is going on. That's why I'm showing you again, because we saw the Bitcoin trend. Everybody wants to think it's independent, it's correlated or decorrelated. It's neither. They're just two assets operating in space, and sometimes we can draw correlations, sometimes we can't. When we look at this, we can see with the blue line is basically S&P 500. The orange line is Bitcoin. We can see generally they trend together. Now, of course, over here, when we get these parabolic runs after the halving was roughly right here. We can see this line. After the halving, you get that supply shock on Bitcoin. We've talked about it a lot on this channel. We got the supply shock. Therefore, demand has more of an impact, as well as the speculative nature of more people looking to it post-halving. It's now becoming something that is, I won't say completely widely known. A lot of people, I talked to that got into crypto even this year still don't understand what the halving is and why it's important. But there's enough people that understand what the halving is at this point that we can see the effects on how the market responds post-halving. We get, this explosive rally that far outpaces the growth of S&P 500. We see this. It's a huge a split of many standard deviations in exponential move in relationship to how steady the stock market has gone. Now, we also have to consider this. This is one of those things that shout out to Love Breakers. He said Kelly rules, or he or she said Kelly rules. Every single one of you rule, and I appreciate each and every one of you. I love you all. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you have not yet. But what we can see here, we can see a sort of future analog of what Bitcoin will likely become in terms of price action. Because Bitcoin is still so young, it's still so early in its life cycle from when the genesis of Bitcoin to now. It's only been, about 14 years. And it's under $1 trillion, under $1 trillion market cap. Where you see S&P 500, let's type it in. What's market cap of SP? Market cap, $37 trillion. So this is an exponent of 40 or more. It's probably something like 44 times what the market cap of Bitcoin is. So the reason why this is important, it seems like a tangent, it's not, is because we see this far exponential gain right here because it's still an early asset. The market cap's small. It takes less monetary energy to move it. Now we're seeing these exponents right here, and I still think we're going to get that. I still think we've got another cycle or two while we get pretty great exponential gains as compared to traditional assets, traditional indexes, Why? Because it takes less monetary energy, and we're seeing only an increase in appetite for something that is outside of the status quo. We're seeing an exponential appetite for something smarter, faster, better, more transparent, something I can own, not something that my bank owns. Now, they can own Bitcoin as well, but they don't need to own my Bitcoin. You put your dollars in the bank, you know what? It's not your dollars anymore. You put your dollars in the bank. Did you know when you deposit money in the bank, they own that money and you have an IOU for that money? Think about that. If you hold Bitcoin, especially if you hold it self-custody in a hardware wallet or software wallet, you own that money. So when we're seeing these exponential gains like this, and we're seeing the trend. Let's look at the trend. The trend up, Bitcoin also up. We see Bitcoin chops around here. Why? Because we had something independent of the stock market. Bitcoin mining man in China caused a huge kerfuffle right here. Rally back up because the markets were still relatively strong. And then we ultimately collapsed together. Stock market bottomed before Bitcoin started pushing up. Interestingly, this is one of those massive signs of strength in Bitcoin, because we see a pretty substantial pullback, respectively on this chart of the S&P 500 right here, all the way up here, 45.88, all the way down to 41. So that's a pretty large pullback. Let's do SPX stocks, SPX. I just want to go, that's not what I want, SP 500. SPY. So this right here is what we're looking at. Let's go to the daily. I mean, that's a 11% pullback in a $37 trillion asset class is major. That is major. That is a major impact on not only the markets, but also also broader markets. So the fact that the SPY or S&P 500 could pull back as it did right here, and Bitcoin was able to hold even on this drawdown that we held these previous lows. This marked extreme underlying bullishness of those people that are holding, not the people that are selling, the people that are holding, the people that are net buyers. The strength of the net buyers is represented by the price action not forming new lows here. So we're seeing the narrative controlled by the bulls. Although we had a bearish pullback, the narrative was controlled by the bulls. Shout out to I got to say special shout out to every single one of you that's here on a daily basis. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here with you. I see Crypto Breezy. We got Zeus Cash. We got B Team Crypto, Tenacious B. DOG to announce significant action at 3. So we're going to have to, I saw that from Tenacious B. We're going to have to keep our eye on that. We are seeing positive strength in the markets. And I just want to say I appreciate you all. Sorry, it's a thankful week. And I want to tell you how much I appreciate you all. Huge sell-off here. It's S&P 500. Net buyers in control. We cannot get new lows. It just provided opportunities for those strong holders to reaccumulate a little bit more. Price action pushing up, starting to stall a little bit, but interestingly, we see the S&P 500 pushing up right here. I just want to point out here, this is from Game of Trades. The NASDAQ hit a 52-week high close yesterday. So the highest it's been in a year. You see this? This push up, pull back, push up. We're forming a new high here relative to this previous level right here. This is showing strength coming into the markets, and this is also representative of what we saw on this chart with the global liquidity. The risk, the constraints that the tech stocks and other risk assets have been fighting through in the face of tightening monetary conditions, in the face of global conflict, in the face of inflation, in the face of all these things. Now we're seeing these money printers starting to go burr. And remember, this is global liquidity. This isn't just the US. This is representative of Japan, of China, of the British pound, of the of Europe, the euro, of Australian dollar, of Canadian dollar, US, all of them. And we're seeing globally the effects of some of that liquidity coming back into markets, because the US is not the only buyers in the world. Can I say that to every one of you Americans out there? Yes, I'm American, but we need to stop being so damn arrogant thinking we are the only people in the market. Whether you are playing a sport and that sport is only played in your country, that does not make you the world champion. That's some bullshit. Americans, we need to step up to the plate and realize this is a global community. We are part of the global community. And if markets don't show you that, then I don't know what will. I think all of us have a duty to ourselves to be patriotic towards being a human. We all have a duty to ourselves to uplift others, not drag them down. We all have a duty to ourselves to help our neighbor and speak truths. Unfortunately, there's some people out there that only want to slander and spread lies and stuff. But all we can do is be here, show up, and provide value. And that's each and every one of us, no matter what you're doing, whether you are a mailman, whether you're a school teacher, whether you're a gym coach, whether you're a bicycle rider, whatever you do it well and do it with honor. Have I messed up in the past? I have messed up in the past. You know, every time I've ever when I mess up, I own up to it. And I take care of those people when I do mess up. So all of us need to do a better job of that. Now, looking here, global liquidity, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about this. S&P 500 pushing up while Bitcoin's hesitating a little bit, but we're seeing global liquidity come in. We're seeing the NASDAQ form new 52-week highs. We're seeing S&P 500 push up right here. We're also seeing Bitcoin key levels doing very well. The key levels on Bitcoin, we are far above them. Now, what I want you to notice here, this is something very bullish. What I want you to notice, and take note of this, inscribe it in your heart, is that when price action is performing like this is, and we're seeing all these key moving averages, the short-term holder cost basis, which is this green line right here, you can see that flashing. That's the short-term holder cost basis, the average of all coins on in circulation that have bought or been traded in the last 155 days, or by new traders. We're seeing the 21-week moving average. See, all these are bunched up together, and the 200-day moving average all bunched up together, but they're angled up right now. Not only are they angled up, we've seen pretty strong bullish price action to the upside. Now, I think we are going to have bullish price action through December. I think December is going to be a bullish month. That does not mean that I do not see any pullback that could happen. I'm prepared for a pullback, but the bullishness about this is these levels are rising and they're already almost up to the level of this previous low. The longer this holds or pushes higher, the higher this starts to move up and gives us not only the floor of the previous low, but also many substantial moving averages, giving us a barrier to the downside, a buffer, a strong support. So watch out for if there is any chop that's meant to trigger your emotions and steal your money. Don't be subject to it. Look at that as net buying opportunity, not selling because you're scared. Now, this is not financial advice. This is strategy advice, and I want you to do what's best for your portfolio. My point with all this is we are coming up on the most explosive time in all of the Bitcoin market cycle, which is the halving. And not only do we have the halving, we're coming up on the most explosive portion of Bitcoin's life cycle, which is coming right at the halving, coming up April 2024. Not only is that coming up, we have institutions on the sideline. We have the DOJ. We see them flexing their muscles with Binance and SEC and all that. It's only indicative of the fact that they're trying to throw water on the fire, this bullish fire, because the Bitcoin ETFs are around the corner, and we have the presidential election cycle coming in this year, and we also have the halving. And we have so many people ready, institutions able to now participate with fair value accounting. The stage is set for the most bullish time in history for Bitcoin. Do not let yourself be subject to be chopped out of the market because you're trading 50x leverage one way and then the other way, then one way and then the other way. Okay? In fact, I did that with a $1,000 account. I did that specifically to prove a point. I did that with a $1,000 account, teaching a neighbor of mine, showing them using their emotions when they were feeling, no, I should get in, I should get out. I said, okay, well, and we did it on a 25x and a 50x leverage account. And we traded every time their emotions triggered. And after 6 trades, they were already down $600 on a $1,000 account. And they were trading on price movements of $20, $15, $20 on Bitcoin. Explosive gains bring explosive losses as well, especially when you don't have a strategy. So let's get in here. Let's look at some TA. Let's talk about what's going on here before we go. Bitcoin dominance still pushing up, but a little bit of a retrace here. Interestingly, look where we landed, right on these previous lows over here, right on this previous high. We bounced right here. Bitcoin is still setting up to maintain its control on the direction of the market. So let's just pay attention to that. We do see the stochastics quite low, which means that the dominance may be setting up for another move to the upside. We see total market cap. This is TOTAL3. TOTAL3. This is everything in the market excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Push up. I want to call it a bull flag, but is it? Let's go down to the 8-hour. It looks more like a head and shoulders. Looks like the altcoin market. Remember how we just saw Bitcoin's posture, the dominance ready to move higher, the posture for the altcoins ready to move lower. The altcoin market as a whole. Doesn't mean some altcoins won't explode higher. Sure, that could happen. But the altcoin market as an index is looking like it's trying to move down a little bit. We look at this, the total market cap overall, similarly. See, total market cap, I won't call it that. This is a little bit more of like a flag. Yeah, it's starting to round out a little bit. We got to watch what happens here. There may be some chop into an explosion is my point with all of this. Ethereum dominance, kind of struggling here. Let's go ahead, look over here. We're looking at, let's go back. Here we go. I just want to point something out here. I went back on this chart and I marked out previous Thanksgivings where we were in the market cycle. These are previous Thanksgivings. Thanksgiving here. Let's look at this. 2018. Thanksgiving here was just middle of Rectopia right here. This was straight up Rectopia. This was a hard Thanksgiving to have. Now we had the price action falling, a little bit of a rally a few days later, the following week. and then continuation of the downside until we finally had consolidation and upside price action. So this marked basically relatively the end of the bear market. In 2020, or 2019, I should say, we are in the middle of a huge rally up to the 618, up into the golden pocket, and the price started pulling back. We sold off into Thanksgiving, had a little bit of Thanksgiving rally here. This wasn't a small rally either. This was, it's an 18% rally. These things look small when you're looking back on the macro, but when you zoom in, you realize it's not a small move. Pushed up 20%, only to 2 days later, sell back off, and ended up resulting in a 16% move, 17% move to the downside until it finally started pushing up again. Now remember, this right here was a global economic shutdown, a little bit of a black swan anomaly, but point is, holiday season doesn't necessarily mean it's absolutely going to pump. In this case, we sold off until we consolidated up to actually have the pump. In this case, we are in the middle of selling off from basically a retrace from the pre-halving pump. We got a pump right around this Thanksgiving holiday, and then into December, through December, all of December was sideways price action. But we had we had a massive pre-halving pump, massive. So it was due for a little bit of a retrace. And then we ultimately started pumping in January. And then we can see over here, this was the halving was roughly, I think about right here. Let's see. Yeah, the halving was right here. So halving happened. We had some consolidation, push up, Bart Simpson back down, and then we started the parabola. And then what happened on Thanksgiving? Look at this. Remember, Thanksgiving, holidays, major holidays like this. When you have a lot of people in a market that are from one area, in this case, there's a lot of people in the Western world, in the US, that trade. On major holidays, there tends to be lower volume. On lower volume days, there's an easier opportunity for big players to move the market in the directions that they want to hit stops, to take advantage, to trigger emotions, to move the market. Don't be somebody that gets your emotions triggered. I see we've got 79 people in the room and only 29 likes. What's happening right now? I want to see every single one of you hit the like button. We should have 79 likes before we wrap this up here in a couple minutes. The point here is on Thanksgiving 2020, market was pushing up into this date, and then it sold off on the holiday. Don't get caught in the chop. That's what this is all about. If you see this and you're like, oh, it's going back down, well, then you don't understand how market cycles work. And if you're selling down here, that wasn't a strategy either, because you could have looked at this on a 4-hour candle chart and also seen the bearish divergences coming into this and sold somewhere up here to take advantage of this move if you are trying to trade the price action on the way up, where you take a little portion of profits, it retraces, and then you see this candle, you look at your other indicators, and you take a trade re-entering lower with more of that asset. Now, we saw this results in a continuation to the upside. Now we see on the next Thanksgiving, look at this. Push up into, that was a 6-7% push up. Immediately sold off the next day, and this was really starting the rectopia bear market that we had that felt never ending. This was that next one, 2022. This was last Thanksgiving. Price action nuked right here from FTX, collapse. Let me zoom in on this. And we pushed up into it, but then we sold off and pushed up and sold off, and then we ended up resulting in price action to the upside. But considering where we're at right now, this is going to be Thanksgiving, 2 days from now, Wednesday, Thursday, right? We've got a lot of opportunity on the sidelines that everybody is aware of. A lot of opportunity. We have all the things I mentioned before, with all the capital waiting on the sidelines, not to mention all the new people that are going to come into the space when the price actually does start moving. When we do get some clarity on what's happening with the spot ETFs and all the different things that are sitting just right on the edge of control with Gary Gensler. We have a DOG thing in this afternoon. If you see an opportunity, AKA chop in the market, don't let that move you out of your coins. Allow that to provide you an opportunity to stack more into your portfolio. Everybody, I love you all. I appreciate you beyond anything I could tell you in words. I really do have loved this last year, getting to know all of you and being able to do this with each and every one of you. I can't tell you how thankful I am for the life I have, with all of you, for you all being here with me and sticking with us through all of the shenanigans that have been happening around the world. So I love you all. I appreciate you. I have to pick somebody up from the airport tomorrow during the same time as the stream. So I'm going to try and stream. I'm going to watch the BitLab Twitter page and in the BitLab Discord. I'll let you know if I stream. Maybe I'll just do a member stream tomorrow in the afternoon. How does that sound? Everybody, if you haven't joined the memberships here on the YouTube, join the memberships. If you haven't joined the BitLab Academy over here, bitlabacademy.com, join us here. You can utilize this incredible discount right here. 3 for $50. You get 3 months for 50% off. That's right, 50% off for 3 months. That's for BitLab Academy All Access. That's your courses and the premium Discord. And of course, also we have the BitLab Academy Pro, which also includes the indicators in addition to the courses, in addition to the premium Discord. And the link is right here to take you directly to it. If you want to click on this on my page, if you click on this link, it takes you directly to the checkout with the coupon already applied. And if you just go to bitlabacademy.com, you can just put this in at checkout when you're checking out at 3 for $50. And again, everybody, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. I have one more thing I want to show you. I just want to really encourage each and every one of you to head over to the Discord over here, the BitLab Discord. Get involved. There's so many different charts and everything shared. I think this is so underutilized by everybody that's in our community, even some of the paying members. John Dalton shares so much great stuff. Corduroy shares so much great stuff in trades. We got Joshua Jake's crews starting to, get involved in the Discord. We got DZ sharing some charts and trades. We've got a lot of stuff going on in here. So get involved in the BitLab Discord and get involved in the premium by signing up for BitLab Academy. You can enroll now right here or on the link you see on this tweet. I love you all. I appreciate you heading over to the Discover Crypto to do some TA, and hope you all have, if I don't see you tomorrow, all the members, watch out for that member stream. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm going to do it. I'll do it. I love you all. I appreciate you. And with that, I want to see everybody drop some emojis. Let's see the lab rats. Let's see the beakers. Let's see that like button go up. And with that, I will bid you adieu. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in to bitlabacademy.com. Hit that like button, sucker.